And for some more on the Prince of Darkness, let's bring in Gene Simmons from KISS, another rock icon. Gene, thank you so much for being here. I'm so sorry for your loss. So many of us knew his persona, knew him as a Prince of Darkness, saw little glimpses on the Osbournes. But how do you remember him?
Well, I remember the man. You know, we 1974, we were both trying to forge our paths, and we actually played on the same bill. And I will tell you that the masses, you know, the fans are grieving. What can you say? It's just broken hearts. And when I tell you my heart, my prayers, and millions of others to Sharon and the kids, people think of him as the Prince of Darkness. And, you know, on stage, of course, this huge persona, you know, a giant, but at the same time, a loving father and a dedicated husband. You can say whatever you want about Ozzy. There never was an Ozzy before Ozzy. You can't really point to anybody that says, oh, yeah, that's where he came from. He just, scientists call that a singularity, an anomaly. He was just kind of born Ozzy. And as far as I know, his entire life, to thine own self be true, the Greeks say. Ozzy was always Ozzy. Through disco, through fwapo, through whatever musical genre there were, Ozzy was always Ozzy, all the way to the end. I mean, it was shocking to see him on his throne, with everybody paying tribute, as well they should, to Sabbath. There wouldn't have been Metallica and lots of other bands. And Ozzy was just, you know, and he was just, you know, giving it all. And you couldn't tell, you couldn't tell. And a week later, devastating. I mean, the fans, my social media and my phone's been off the hook. People are just crying. They're just devastated. What can you say?
Yeah. I mean, truly, the way you describe it, somewhat of a poetic end to a poet. He was a. I mean, when you listen to his lyrics, he was a poet. And yet, as a musician, I'm not a musician, but I do want to take you back to 1974, and you guys are sharing that bill. As a musician, and you hear Ozzy Osbourne, what goes through your mind?
Well, it even started before that. My first impression of Sabbath was a full-page ad in the back of Rolling Stone, and it said, Black Sabbath, louder than Led Zeppelin. And I went, oh, yeah, that's the coolest of the cool. And, you know, media being what it is, it promotes everybody. But then when you see Sabbath, it just, certainly at the time, there was nothing like that on stage. And when you saw Ozzy running around on stage, you're thinking, this is somebody who should be committed. You know, just a crazy man. And giving full. I've never read or saw a Sabbath show ever where you got the sense that Ozzy was just going through the paces and, oh boy, here's the song you wanted, greatest hits. He never, you know, they never played the game. You know, the I love you, you're the only one for me, you broke my heart. You know, those lyrics which are, let's face it, they're not true. They just sang what they, and it, you know, people don't realize that Ozzy, though he didn't play an instrument, those are his melodies. That's him writing melodies and lyrics and crafting that sound, that enormous guitar that Iommi has that just, you know, shook the heavens, the guitar that ruled the world. Ozzy, there never was one like him and probably never will be.
I mean, and when you look back at that time, you know, and you look at the birth of heavy metal and the evolution of like the modern rock show, it was Ozzy, and it was also you. You were almost like right brain, left brain. There was the genius of the madman in Ozzy, and then there was the calculated mastermind of the demon. And you were in the same sphere.
The dedication of stagecraft, of being up on that stage, and your job was to make everyone forget that the world is not such a nice place and that there are traffic jams and you argue with your girlfriend about all kinds of stuff. But when you come there, it's electric church. You know, the fans and the band everybody say, yeah, black, you know, and everybody go crazy. You saw Ozzy whenever he did that. Strangely anti-metal, anti-anything, anti-all the rules, Ozzy would open up his heart and he would yell out with all the passion that he had, I love you all. Who says that when you're the Prince of Darkness?
Right.
No, that's the real Ozzy. He was always really just Ozzy, and with no excuses. And at the same time, the dark figure up on that stage, if you saw the reality show, I mean, truthfully, there wouldn't have been a Gene Simmons Family Jewels. We had our own reality show if there hadn't been the Osbournes. He broke through the barrier and said, you know what? What you see on stage is fine, and I'm committed to that. And I'm also, a father who loves his family and his wife. And here we are talking about it, but I will tell you that the eulogy about Ozzy should come from the fans. Mm-hmm. Because this was a soundtrack of their lives. And I almost don't even have a right to talk about it, because the real emotion and the real loss comes from people whose entire life was affected by Ozzy and Sabbath. Mm-hmm. And there will never be another like him.
Yeah, and yet, those that were fans of both of you, it is a fitting tribute to summon the demon, to pay tribute to the Prince of Darkness, and then beyond all of that, like the shows where you both let people into your homes, and you saw Ozzy as a father, you saw you as a father.
Yeah, but I stand guilty as charged of sometimes bending over for the soap. I have played the game just to be more popular and more of this. Ozzy never played the game. He was always 100% Ozzy. He was a giant. He was a giant.
Do you have I hate to put you on the spot, but do you have a favorite song of his?
War Pigs.
War Pigs.
Not a favorite thing to tell your girlfriend or somebody. War Pigs? Yeah, he didn't sing fake lyrics. How can I live without you? Actually, pretty easily, because I'm going to go and see your next door girl. Yeah, those are not real lyrics. I know women want to hear those kinds of lyrics, but he sang what he wanted to sing. War Pigs is not about my heart is broken, how can I live without you?
No, it's about something primal. It's about something that...
Something a lot... In fact, my favorite actor of all time was Boris Karloff, born William Henry Pratt. He spoke with an octave, pulse throb, it couldn't get work as an actor. And Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, was a Karloff film. That's where they got their name, Black Sabbath. That's not the best way to, start a band and, have... Oh, that's a commercial idea. It's probably not a good name for a new band, but, the guys understood it. And through thick and thin, through different members, it doesn't matter what, nothing ever stopped Sabbath. And I know this is the beginning. Sabbath will continue, and Ozzy may be gone, but right now, getting choked up, goddamn it. Right now, there are millions of fans around the world who are turning off their TikToks and Schmicktalks and all that stuff, shutting the door and putting on their Sabbath albums.
Yeah. And singing along with all their heart.
Oh, most devastating has got to be for the family and for Sharon. My heart goes out to them.
Yeah, our heart goes out to them. And you as well, Gene. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.